Hi, everybody. Welcome to our second and final webinar in this mini series of reporting in monday.com. This webinar will look at the more advanced reporting capabilities in monday.com. My name is Danielle. If you weren't here for the first webinar, I'm a customer success manager here at monday.com, and I am very excited to be here once again. Just to make sure, if you can hear me and see my screen, please send a smiley face in the chat. You should see a blue screen that says Advanced Reporting with Danielle. Amazing. I just love seeing the flow of smileys in the chat. That's just makes me happy. Okay, thank you guys so much. Perfect. So like many of you, we are still working from home here. So if we have any connection issues during this webinar or sound issues or anything, please let me know in the chat and I will do my best to resolve them as fast as possible. We are all going through these tough times together, but we here at monday.com are committed to making your working from home experience as smooth as possible, and we are here for you. So I am here for you today. We are here for you in general. This webinar is advanced, as you can see, so it certainly assumes you have some knowledge of the monday.com platform. If you are brand new to the platform, welcome. I do recommend first watching a basic walkthrough webinar, which we run multiple times a week, Monday to Wednesday and Fridays. If you are brand new to reporting, I would recommend watching our Introduction to Reporting webinar that I did last week first. You can see all the webinars we run live and find all of our recordings at monday.com/webinars. If by any chance I see people saying that they didn't get the recording or they can't see the recording, you can send us an email at support@monday.com and we will be happy to send you the recording if you didn't get it. It should also be on our broadcast view if you know that specific board that we send. And it should also be on the webinars page. If you have any issues with that, send us an email to support@monday.com and we will make sure that you have that recording. If you have any questions throughout the webinar, please feel free to put them in the Q&A box and I will do my very best to get to as many of them as possible in the second part of this webinar. I do have two colleagues here today who are helping me, Noi and Itai, so thank you guys so much for being here. They will be answering your questions live throughout the webinar and we will do our best to answer them in the second part as well. I also want to stress, and I see people are already asking about it, that the recording of this webinar will be sent automatically to those who attended or registered to this webinar and will appear on our webinars page. So no need to worry. Again, if there are any issues with that, again, please send us an email to support@monday.com and we will send you the recording again, but it should be sent automatically to you tomorrow. Great. So, last week, feels like it was yesterday, we covered our chart capabilities, our formula column, advanced filters, search everything, our awesome dashboards, including some of our more basic widgets for reporting, like the battery widget, timeline, and time tracking. So today's webinar, we'll be focusing on some of our latest and more advanced reporting features. We will go over the chart view again, but this time focusing on our stacked chart and new features that we added to the chart feature. We will also look at the workload view and widget, our overview widget, and our different apps like Working Status app, Pivot app, Word Cloud app, and a brand new exciting app, which is performance tracking. These features will allow you to get more complex in how you create reports and provide even more valuable insights to your team and the entire company. So before we go ahead and start, I do want to stress out our resources for support. We do have our amazing knowledge base with articles on every single topic I will be talking about today. We have our stories where you can find templates from actual users that you can use on your account. And of course, we have our support@monday.com support, where we are available 24/7 to answer your questions. I see people saying they don't see the screen. Do you guys see my screen? Do you need more help right now on the screen? Yes. Okay. Okay, perfect. So if any of you are having issues, I see that it's not for everyone. Perfect. I'm sorry if you're having issues, of course, but so yes, we have 700 people right now. So we do make our best to answer your questions, but I promise you that you can find answers to your questions in our articles. And if not, and if you have workflow questions or stuff like that, please email us at support@monday.com. We are here to help you, and we are happy to do that. So wonderful. Let's jump into my account. Welcome back. This is a board. Welcome, this is a board. So this is a board I built for my HR department that is being used to handle the recruitment process of the company. So I just want to stress that, as with all webinars, these use cases are for demonstration purposes only. And of course, all the tips and features we'll be covering today can be applied to many other use cases. So just in case I don't touch on the use case that you're working on, that doesn't mean you can't use the features on your specific on your specific use case. So you can see on the board that we have a people column to see who in the team is in charge of the recruitments and the different stages that we have in the process here, with a status column, relevant details of our candidates, and important additional information like salary expectations and the source that my candidates are coming in from. This board holds a lot of valuable information for my HR team, and I want to create a report that will help me see how many candidates I have in which position, and also the division of the candidates between my team members. And this can be done by creating a chart view, but not any chart view, my stacked chart. So the stack chart allows me to visualize my data using 3 parameters: my x-axis, y-axis, and to stack that data by an additional parameter. So in this board, for example, I want to see how many candidates each team member is handling at the moment, but I also want to see that data according to each position. So I'm going to add and create the chart just by clicking right here. I'm going to add a view, and I'm adding the chart view. So I can choose which chart I want to create, and we are going to create the stacked bar and pick my recruitment column. So my recruiter column for the x-axis, and the y-axis is counting the items. This is what I need because I want to see how many candidates I have, and each item is a different candidate. This will give me the first thing that I want to report on, which is how many candidates each team member is looking after. So this is great. To get that additional breakdown of understanding how many each are looking after by the position we're recruiting for, I would stack the chart. I would stack the chart by position. So this is applying for which position. So this way I can see the different positions, but I do have one more thing that I want to do. I do want to filter this chart because I only want to see my my candidates in process right now. Did I misspell Beyonce? That is the worst thing I could have done. I am so sorry. I apologize, guys. I'm very, very sorry about that. I will fix this as soon as we leave this chart view. I deeply apologize. So going back, I agree, Brandon, it is unacceptable. I will do something about it. So this chart now gives me, I'm deadly serious, by the way. This chart now gives me a very clear view of the data. And I can see, for example, that Noi is handling 2 developers at the moment. She has 1 social media candidate and 1 product manager. I can also see my other team members, and I can see that I have 4 candidates under Noi right now, but only 1 under Ron and Tamir. So if I have more candidates coming in, I know that I should assign them to Ron or Tamir. So this really helps me to kind of better understand my data, better understand all the candidates on the board, and help me plan ahead. It is important to stress that this is, of course, an example, like I said, and the amazing thing about the stack chart is that they simply let you get a more granular in terms of the data you're reporting and they can be used for any scenario when you have more than just one aspect to your data. So I want to show you another aspect. So if you remember our lead management right here, this is where I manage all my leads for my sales team. So you can see here as a second example on my leads management board, I created a stack chart that shows me the deal size of the deal my sales team members are handling and stacked it by status. So I can see my won deals, lost deals, and in negotiation, and how much are these deals worth by the status. So this is just a great tool to use to kind of see that data and to create more complex charts. It is possible to use this stack chart on our dashboards as well. For those of you who haven't heard about our dashboards, they allow us to create reports from multiple boards on our account and have amazing features. We will be reviewing some today, some widgets. But if you want to see a more in-depth explanation about them and how to set them up, I do recommend watching our Intro to Reporting webinar if you didn't already, that took place last week. I really dived into how to set them up and what exactly are the dashboards there. I do want to note that at the moment it is not possible to add more than one board to the stack chart on our dashboards. It only supports one board. This means that if you connected several boards to the chart widget or to your dashboard, the stacked option will be blocked. But I'm also very excited to say that we are currently working on supporting multiple boards on the stack chart and are hoping to release it very, very soon. So this, I don't know what about you, this makes me very, very happy. So keep an eye out for that. It should be coming out pretty soon. So yay. Okay. Another amazing thing that we recently added to the charts is the option to view cumulative data and add a benchmark line. So the cumulative data option allows us to share how the data you are reporting on progresses over time. So for instance, showing the accumulated process of the sales over the quarter, meaning each month will include all previous months and the addition of the current month. And our benchmark line shows the goal or a low or high threshold, so you can keep track of your numbers in comparison to that line. So to show this, I created an example on my yearly goals dashboard. Yes, these options are available on the dashboard as well. Yay, yay, yay. So in my chart, let me just show you the settings so it will be clear. I did choose my creation log for the x-axis because I wanted to show this over time. So right now we're looking at weeks. And I chose the deal size for my y-axis. And under more setting, I chose to show cumulative data. So I added this option and I can now see exactly how much money we actually added in every week. So just so you see, if I stop choosing this one, I can only see how much was added and I can't see my overall amount. So by adding the cumulative data, I can see the overall amount and I can see how much was added on every week. And I also added a benchmark right here. You can see here, it says yearly goals. I don't know if you can see because it's back. And I'm on dark mode, but this allows me to see my yearly goals very visually and see the progress towards that goal. I am also filtering this widget specifically because I just wanted to see my won deals. So this is very helpful to kind of see my progress throughout the way, throughout the weeks, and how I'm getting closer to my yearly goal. So this is amazing. Great. How are you doing so far? Are we good? I saw some Omar Adam love earlier. I like that. Amazing. Okay, guys, thank you. Okay, so let's move on to our next aspect of advanced reporting. one of my personal favorites, which is the workload. This amazing feature allows you to see a clear overview of how your team's work is divided and who's over capacity, so you can reschedule or reallocate work as necessary to ensure timelines can be met. This feature can be used both as a view or as a widget on our dashboards, and I will show you the two options. So let's start with the view. In order to use this feature, whoops, a little spoiler there. In order to use this feature, it is important to make sure that on the board on which you'll be reporting on the workload, you have a people column on that your team members are assigned to, of course. And also we do recommend using the timeline column for this feature. So let's take a look at my campaign management board right here that we are on. As you can see, I have my people column showing me the owner of the campaign, my status column for each phase. I love doing this, as you can see on each and every board, a progress column to show the overall progress, and a timeline column with the dates of each campaign. So let's go ahead and add the workload view by clicking again on the down-facing arrow, add view, workload, perfect. So once I create the view, we will immediately see a list of the team members assigned on the board here on the left and circles next to them representing the workload of each. These circles fill up as the workload grows. So once a team member reaches their full capacity, you will see a full circle. And if they are over their capacity, the circle will turn red. I can also define the time frame I want to look at on the top right here, and pick between days, months, or weeks. So we're gonna use weeks for this specific example. To better understand how this works, let's dive into the settings section by clicking on the settings icon right here. So here we can set which time column we want to view the view to refer to, and which person column in case that we have more than one, because sometimes we do. And we can also define how to measure effort, which is very important to understand what's the benchmark for capacity. So we can decide to measure effort by counting the items, which is what we're going to do in this specific example. So this way I will define a weekly capacity for my team of, let's say, 3 items or 3 campaigns in our case. And the circles will adjust themselves immediately to the capacity and will show me accordingly how who has less or more than 3 campaigns. So I can see that in this week, I have specifically 4 campaigns, so I am over capacity. If I click on the circle, I will be able to very clearly see the timeline of each project, and I can also change it and move it to other weeks. I can also click on the specific campaign and see all of the details here. So if I want to change, let's say, the person, because I see that I am overworked, I can go ahead and change that right here. Amazing. So I touched upon the time frame, and it is important because we define a weekly capacity for our team, and the workload feature changes it accordingly to the time frame we pick. So if we pick the capacity of 5 items per week, which is just more clear in the example that I'll give right now, and pick to view days, the daily capacity will be 1 item per day, because the feature is actually, the view is actually dividing 5 by 5 because we have 5 working days. So you can see 3 items out of 1 because we only have 1. If I pick months, then it will multiply by 4. At the moment, you can see it is doing 21 just because we have some months that have more days, some months that have less. So that's how it works. And at the moment, we can only set a weekly capacity. So we cannot set a daily or a monthly capacity yet. As I mentioned, we also have a workload widget. And in order to view its options, I created a weekly task board right here. So this is quite the simple, wow, I am showing you so many spoilers, guys. Whoops, sorry about that. So this is quite a simple board, but the important column here is this number column right here that represents the time estimation for each task. This is important because we are now going to talk about the other option to set capacity or effort, as it's called in the settings, based on the time estimation column. So I went ahead and prepared a dashboard where we will add the workload widget right here by clicking on the workload widget. I did prepare one, but let's see how we are going to do that. Edit, it's important to click on edit first, guys, to do actions on the on our dashboards. Add widgets. Let's search for our workload. Perfect. Okay. So the workload widget allows us to add data from multiple boards, which is great, especially if we work with project boards or any case of multiple boards, which a lot of us work with. The widget will allow us to see the overall workload for our team members and plan ahead accordingly. So it's great. So now let's set the widget. As you can see, the settings are pretty much the same here. So time column, person column, and effort and capacity. We do have 2 boards and we only want to use one. So remember what I showed you the last week. If you were here, we're just going to exclude one board because we're just looking at this specific board today. And here we are going to pick to add effort for our capacity. And we are going to base it on the time estimation column, as you can see here. So let's set the capacity for 40 hours a week. That gives us 8 hours a day, which makes sense for my team. So now our workload is dividing the estimated time throughout the duration of the entire project and showing the workload accordingly to the time frame we pick. What we can do in this widget, which we can't do in the view, is to set an individual capacity for each team member instead of for the entire team. So I can click here, edit capacity by person, and I can click this so we won't apply the default max capacity to everyone. Since I know that Ariel is a part-time worker, so he can only do 20 hours a week, not like my other workers. So I can do that, and I can see accordingly now Ariel has 20 hours, but I still have 40 hours. And once again, I am overworked. What else is new, right, guys? No, I'm kidding. So the workload is really an amazing tool that allows us to see a clear overview of how your team's work is divided and who's over capacity. So you can reschedule or reallocate the work as necessary to ensure the timelines will be met and that your team members are not overworked or underworked. So it's amazing. So while we are here, I want to talk about another widget. We are kind of moving throughout the different tools, so hang in there with me. We'll make it through together. Okay, so another great widget that can help us to ensure we are on schedule with all of our upcoming tasks, and that is the Overview widget right here. This widget actually analyzes the status of an entire board based on the numbers of remaining tasks to be done and the overall timeline. Where you use a board per project, it's great to show you how you're progressing for that project at a glance. And to set it up, I'll just show you. You can simply just pick the status column and the date column you wish the widget to draw information from. And if you wish to exclude boards or pick specific groups, you can also do that. So here you can see I have different phases. I want to include all of them for my campaign management. And here I don't want my priorities column. I only want my status, date columns as well, boards, and groups. Perfect. So we do have 4 possible statuses. If all your tasks are on time, your project will show on track like I have right here. So yay. If everything is done, then the project will show completed. At risk project will be determined by measuring the percentage of time that has passed between the start and end dates of all projects and the percentage of done tasks on the same board and compares them. So let's jump into that for a second to make it more clear. If I have more tasks to complete than time, I am at risk. So the widget kind of compares the percentage of time to the percentage of tasks. So it just compares the two. If I'm the other way around, so I have more time than tasks, then I should be on schedule and everything should be fine. And I also have behind schedule, which means that if I'm already overdue with most of my tasks on the board, I will be behind schedule. This widget is a great to see a clear picture of the overall progress and helps you stay aware of any risk or delay in schedule. This is really just like at a glance. So if we don't want to drill down, we just want to jump on our dashboard and see, oh wait, I have a board that is at risk. And then what I recommend doing is combining the our battery widget right here. So this will give us a more option to drill down to the information. So if we don't want to go over the battery widget each time and drill down and see where we're stuck or where we're not moving, we can have the overview. We can see at risk or behind schedule and know, okay, we need to drill down on campaign management right now. So let's do that. And then we can create battery widgets for each board or a battery widget for everything and drill down. So it's a great combination. Okay, guys, are we all doing great? Are we all doing fine? You don't have to be doing great. You can just be okay. Okay, great. Alive is also amazing. I mean, we should all be grateful to be alive and healthy. Great, guys. Okay, good. Amazing. So now the moment that we've all been waiting for, I feel like I should do a drum roll. Our amazing new apps. So the Monday Apps framework is a brand new low-code addition to our WorkOS, which allows developers to build their own custom functionalities to monday.com to suit the exact needs of their team. How amazing is that? For now, an app can include views, widgets, integrations, and automations. As you are probably aware, our developers actually used the framework to build apps in the past months. So, and we will be discussing 4 of those apps today that we will add a whole new level to your, that they will add a whole new level to your reporting capabilities. Amazing. So the first app I want to talk about is a very helpful one, especially during these times while so many of us are working from home. The working statuses is a feature we recently added to allow you to see the availability of each team member of your team at a glance. If you haven't seen them so far, you can go ahead in your account, click on your avatar icon, and you will see working status right here. And you have all these different options to pick from to kind of see the status of each team member. And a great app to get an overview of all team members on one board is the Working Status app that summarizes the statuses of all team members on a specific board and shows it to us in a chart view. So let's go back right here to campaign management where you saw a little sneak peek of this. I created this right here. So as you can see, you can pick between the pie chart and the bar chart, whatever works best for you, and you can include guests on your account. You can also use the widget to see the data from more than just one board. The important thing to say is this, this shows you the members of the board. So the people who are subscribed to my board right now, these are the people that I can see right here. So I can see that 3 members are working from home, 2 members are working outside at the moment. I can see the status. If someone is sick, I will be able to know. If someone is in the office right now, I'll also be able to know. And I just have a very good overview of where my team members are at the moment. So this could be great to reference for everyone while they work from home to know who might be available to contact for a quick question, for example, or anything that works for you. So I wanted to start off with this because it's very suited to our specific situation right now. To show you the next apps, we'll be using another board that contains the answers from an employee sentiment survey that was sent to the employees of my fictional organizations using the form view. We can see it right here. It is a private board because what is up with the previews today, guys? So this is a private board because it contains very personal information. And as you can see, I have a lot of replies here. And I want to draw multiple insights from them easily, not having to go through each and every one and kind of count. That is a lot of work. So for this, I will use the pivot board view, which helps me to easily slice and dice any data to understand it at a glance. With this view, you can create a pivot table in seconds, summarizing data from any group or board. So to edit, I'm just going to click right here on the main table, add view, apps, yay. Here you can see all of our apps. I really recommend going through the apps and kind of checking them out. We won't be talking about all of them, so please play with them. These are really amazing and they can completely transform your account. But we will add the pivot view right now. So at the top, under all columns, you will see all columns available. These options are based on the existing columns on your board. So you can see here the columns that I have from my form. In order to define the rows and columns of your pivot, you simply choose the columns you want to view and drag them to either the row grouping or the column grouping. Once you've chosen which columns you want to analyze, you will get a visual, my favorite sentence is slice and diced view of your board's item relating to the values in those columns. So on my board right here, I want to have a better understanding of the different satisfaction levels by the categories I have. One example would be to see the overall satisfaction level. So I can go ahead and drag this right here. So I can easily see how many employees chose each level. I can also, let's add our gender column right here. And see this data by gender in my company, or I can add the location instead. So that's also possible. And I can also add more than one level. So I can see the different locations and in them, how many of each gender were satisfied with my company's support during this quarantine. So we can do this right here. So this is really interesting. Another super interesting example would be to see our salary satisfaction, especially by gender. This is a very important subject, so it is important for us to see this. So these are all super critical insights that I can receive from this board and really easily with our pivot board right here. You can also pick between count, average, and more functions if you are working with numbers. So that would be great for you. And another amazing thing is that I can filter my results. So if, let's say, I only want to see my female workers and see how are they satisfied with their salary, I can easily see that I have more satisfied female team members from my Tel Aviv office than my New York, which is very important for me to understand and know. Another thing is on the top left of your pivot table, you can click on the table right here and select your preferred style, like heat map table or different charts. So I can choose heat map and kind of see my extreme values. You can also pick between dark mode and light mode right here. And you can choose to see this in split view to see the board and the pivot table in one view. So the pivot table gives us the flexibility to customize and analyze data in a snap, gain clear insights from your data, and have a deeper level of reporting from many different perspectives. So I highly recommend using this. This is so helpful, and I am a big fan. Another amazing app that can be very useful for us here is the Word Cloud app. So you can add it in the same way. I already added one to the board, which you got to see. And this app can identify textual sentiment at a glance and present it in a visual way. So this allows you to analyze your work and make data-driven decisions, but adds a fun spin to board reporting. As you can see here, I can easily see I had notes. I had a lot of notes part of this specific form. So here I can see all the words that are coming up. Love, amazing, company, people. So this is just great to see. You can open the settings right on top, right here. And set the column you wish to draw the data from. So you can choose different columns. This way we can immediately see the main words on the column, like I said, and we can better understand our employee sentiment in this specific use case according to this view. The Word Cloud app can also be used as a widget and draw textual data from multiple boards. I can also kind of use the different settings here for max number of words, spacing, size difference, and more. So this is a really just fun way to get insights from textual data. Okay. One more app I want to quickly show you, and it is exciting because it is out since of today. So this is new, is the Performance Insights app, which allows us to gain invaluable insights into your team's performance to quickly improve the way they work with a visual view of the duration of tasks. So let's jump straight into it. So here you will be able to see how much time was spent on the different statuses and the change with time. You can get valuable data on your team's task and see at a glance where projects get stuck. You can manage your team based on the clear, actionable data and keep your team motivated and performing at their full potential. So this is based on our activity log. We can see the different statuses and how long we've been on them. Right here I have days, but I can also pick hours. If we're working with a lot of tasks in one day, I can see the change. There hasn't been a change specifically here, but this little arrow as well, you'll see the delta, the change between the different days. So again, here we're working with days. We can see it by week, bi-weekly, month, quarter. So we can kind of see the way that we work, and we can really improve the way that we work by seeing this really valuable data. So this is something I know a lot of people have been asking for. They've been trying to create it themselves. So this is very exciting, and I really believe that this can help you improve the way that you and your team works. One last thing I want to show you is actually a new capability. We're just celebrating a lot of new capabilities, which is crazy because we were here a week ago, but we will move fast. We are actually now starting to release it. So some of you may have it and some of you may not. Don't worry, we are just gradually releasing it. And this is the ability to share your dashboards with a link or through an email. Now, before you guys get super excited, it is important to know that this is not a broadcast view like we have on our boards. Instead, anyone who is invited and accepts will become a viewer on your account. So viewers are not counted towards the number of users you have paid for in your account. So you can feel free to invite anyone who you wish to share your dashboards with, like clients, managers, or other in your company who do not currently use monday.com. But please note that yes, they will be added as viewers, meaning that they will be able to also see main boards on the account. So you will have a share button right here where you can add subscribers. Now here, this is subscribers and guests, so you can add both to your dashboards, and you can invite to this dashboard. Now this can happen with a link or invite by mail. You can use either of these, and again, this will invite people as viewers to your account, and they will be able to see this dashboard. So this is brand new. This is just now starting to release, so you guys are lucky and you got a sneak peek of that. And that is it. Oh my God, we're done with the first part of our webinar. That went really fast. Thank you so much for being here. For those of you who are here for this webinar and for those of you who are here for the second webinar as well, I had such a great time.